Hi, my loves. Good to see you. Waiting for a few people to join before we get going. Let me see. Hi there. We have a few folks joining in so far. How are you guys doing? How's everyone's day going today? Hey, what up? Hey, good to see you. Haven't seen your face in a while. Really glad you popped up in the little live feed that I do. Just waiting a few moments for some more folks to join us. Coming at you guys a little late. Usually come at 5:30 with nightly reflections, but today we had a recovery board meeting, which are always fun. I get to see the board, talk about the happenings, all that stuff. Hi, Mila. Hi, pretty girl. I wish I could see your face. Aw, I miss you guys. Miss you guys tons. Can't wait to see you again soon. Yeah, so it's been a really good day. I'm really grateful that I get this opportunity to hang with you guys. Hey, Holly, welcome. Good to see you. I was just saying I'm coming in a little later. We had a board meeting that once a month, so once a month I'll be doing this a little later in the evening. But I'm really grateful for the board at Recovery Fitness. They really believe in our mission and our vision. And it's sort of like the checks and balances. You know, sometimes I get really, overambitious, or those that know me know that I'm pretty excitable, and they sometimes bring me down to earth or are more realistic, and we could really brainstorm and problem solve in ways that I wouldn't be able to do if it was just me. So I'm really grateful for their support. We have an awesome board. And anyone is able to join boards for nonprofits, for causes they believe in. I think it's a really great way to get involved, see the inner workings of a board and how that works. And if you ever want to start your own nonprofit, it's a great place to learn. I got out into nature today, which was pretty cool. I was in Naples in Conklin Gully. I kind of took a mini escape, ran away for a few hours, and it was exactly what I needed. I did get pretty wet and cold, and I almost lost the dogs to a waterfall, but it wasn't a total wash. We had a great time. They were really tired. Hazel still won't talk to me, but we had a lot of fun. It was really good to get out. It was good to connect with nature. It was good. I walked the creek bed, and it was really good to just, even though it was a little chilly, the water was chilly, and my feet got wet, it was so good to feel the water on my toes. It was so good to feel the wind in my face. I've really been missing getting outside, and today was just the perfect day. The perfect day to get away. And I was talking to one of my staff members on the ride there. We were kind of just checking in, and we were talking about really like self-care, and being burnt out with work meetings, or burnt out being at home, or, whatever it may be that we're going through. Just really looking at ways to ensure we're practicing self-care. And we talked about like taking days off. I know we're home, and it sounds like a weird thing, take a day off. We're home anyway. But a day where there's a level of accountability to say, I'm not doing any work. I'm not opening a computer. I'm not jumping on work meetings. To really just enjoy the day, to really live, to really be present. And that's so, so important. I'm really looking forward to doing that one of these days real soon. I see a bunch of folks joined us. Hi, Mo, Nikki, Adam. Hi, Danny, Nellie, Maggie. Oh, that's so cool. Good to see you, Maggie. I missed you tons. Hope you're doing well. Glad you're tuning in tonight. Really excited to have you guys. I wanted to, there's some folks that were on with me last night, and we talked about what are we living for versus what are we living against. And I was wondering if you guys had some time to think about it or had come up with any ideas. You know, the difference of like living for a cause versus living against a cause, right? And just that little reframe of shifting mindset, because it's all about mindset, right? So are we fighting against some injustice, or are we living for the opposite of that injustice, which is, you know, whatever that justice is? So I'm wondering if anyone out there, throw up your comments as they come to you, what you think about that. You know, I've been fighting for so many things in my life, in active addiction, in recovery, and having came across that little story yesterday really was eye-opening, and thinking about, you know, why am I fighting as hard when, you know, advocating, living for is a difference. It's just a tiny shift, but a really huge one for me. Because it really speaks to and defines kind of part of my identity. You know, I want to live for the greater good. I want to live for recovery. I want to live to see if my story can help someone else in their journey. You know, these are the things I want to live for. And they define who I am as a person. They define all of you guys and who you are. You know, from one of the books, Man's Search for Meaning, by Viktor Frankl, he really gets into this idea of what is your why, you know, and if you have a why, you could have any how, and it's a pretty powerful book. I encourage you guys to read it. He chronicles his experience in concentration camps during the Holocaust, and how he found meaning in the darkest time of his life, in the darkest place of his life, and he really worked on his mindset, worked on perception, and it's all about perception, right? This seeming existence is how we perceive it, you know. And he talked about the other prisoners and how they lost hope, they lost their why, you know. And he says this, Nietzsche's the word. It's when you have, when you know your why, or you have a why, you can get through almost anyhow. Adam, I believe service to others is our highest order. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it goes back to community. It goes to that, like, that bond that binds us, being there for one another, basic human principles. You know, I think over time we've gotten away from them so much. You know, if you think, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, families were having dinner together, families were going to church together, or doing whatever together, and it just doesn't happen as often these days, and we get away from ourselves, from our community, from service. Yeah, Mo, that's an awesome book. I absolutely love it. It's a really, really great book. I didn't finish it yet. I started not that long ago, so I hope to be done with it sometime real soon. But this idea of what defines us, what defines our very essence, what makes us who we are, right? It's our personal journey and our personal experiences, for sure, but it's also the why, you know, what drives us, what makes us unique in our own special way. And I actually came across something I want to read to you guys, another one of my random web searches of whatever random things, and it talks to that. It talks about this idea of your identity and who you are, and it starts by, the title is "You Are More Than You Know." And I really like this, and I'll kind of speak to it as I go along. It says, you are not your car. You are not your job. You are not your bank account. These things are useful, and they help you to make your way through the world, but they do not define you. And for so long, I don't know if it's true for you guys, for so long I let those things define me. I hid. It was a facade. I hid behind things, behind an image. And sometimes still, if I'm feeling down, I'll hide behind a smiling face. And I'm a really bad liar, so sometimes you could see right through it, but it's this idea, if I make it all look good on the outside, if I present a certain way, right, perception, then you will like me more, or you will think differently of me, or whatever that may be for you. And please chime in, like if you have experience that you want to share around this stuff or thoughts on it. I want to hear your feedback. You are not your problems. You are not your failures. You are not your disappointments. These things challenge you and can ultimately help you grow, but they do not have to limit you. Isn't that a beautiful thing? The theme always comes up, or at least the statement always comes up about, out of our darkest moments comes our greatest victory, right, or greatest light. And that really, really speaks to me. Our experiences have so much value. They are our greatest asset. They are how we learn and how we grow and how we just transform in this world, welcoming some folks. I see Eric joined us. Yelena, that's my mom. Hi, Mom. Good to see ya. You're creeping on me every night. No, I know we just spoke before this. And Kathy, Kirsten, Maria. Hi, Maria. Good evening. And Jake. And there's Tad. Good to see you, Tad. Long time. And Tad, actually, his buddy, side note, his buddy shared, and his buddy Petey shared that actually at Helio, which for those that don't know is our local detox center, they actually broadcast our Facebook Live feeds to the clients at the detox, which absolutely warmed my heart because that is just the coolest thing I could think of. That is just the coolest thing. So Tad, thank Petey for sharing that with me. That meant the world, for sure. So you are the child who danced in the sunshine, the young person who dreamed of changing the world. You are the admirer of all the beauty around you, a spirit who cannot be tied down. You are the best that you can imagine, a bundle of possibilities yearning to be fulfilled. There is so much in that. It's such a small paragraph, but it's the perception. It's how we view the world, right? But it comes from how we view ourselves. That inner essence, the inner child, our spirit. If we're feeling down or we're feeling broken, the way we view the world is going to be through a broken lens. Right, and it's just such a great reminder, especially in days where the sun's shining. Maybe it's not shining anymore, but the sky is blue, and we get to really, really live in that moment, really embrace the whole world exactly as it is, or life exactly as it is. And we are dreamers. If I think of like that inner child that just dreamt to change the world, why can't we have that? Why can't we be that? Why can't we think that way? It's not naive. It's a beautiful way to think and view ourselves and view the world around us. When we empower kids when they're really creative and have these ideas about changing the world or doing these different things, and as they grow up or as they grow, sometimes, we... But I say we, I don't know, maybe as a society or systemically or whatever, we start to discount their ideas, discount some of that creativity, and we inadvertently can blow out that candle that burns inside them, this drive to create change, this drive for goodness, that innocence. gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer from kind of the human demands. Go to school, do your work, clean your room. It takes away some of that uniqueness, some of that creativity. So this really, when I read it, just brought me back to that innocence, that simple place of just seeing everything as a world of possibilities and being able to change, or having the ability, the power to change the world, right? In such a simple but powerful place. The shallow, superficial things will define or limit you only to the extent that you let them. Pay attention to them, but don't give your life to them. You are so much more. And this little poem or story or blog or whatever it is that I came across just really spoke to me, because we are so much stronger than we know. We're so much braver than we've ever imagined. There's so much power in our voices. There's so much power in our stories. There's so much good and so much power in us. And we get away from that sometimes. We kind of discount our dreams and our wishes and adapt ourselves and our view to fit into this idea of what we think we should be, as opposed to adapt the world to fit our ideas, right? And I don't know if that sounds silly to you. I think for me, coming from a place where I didn't have any hope, where I wasn't living any kind of life of purpose, where I was just stuck in darkness and depression and despair, and there really wasn't much room for creativity. There wasn't much room for that little kid that wanted to change the world one day, and I don't know, I had a thought, or not even a thought, an idea, about recovery, and it was so silly. And I remember telling my friends, like, hey, maybe I can do this. I like to work out. I don't, da-da-da-da, whatever it was. And people were sort of like, oh, that's cool, good for you. But you could sometimes tell there's a little bit of condescending there, not because they meant any ill will or harm, but we're sort of conditioned to say, oh, that's unique and different, like, that's great, enjoy, kind of thing. And again, not in a mean way, being kind of sarcastic about it, but even in the encouragement, I felt some deflation. And Adam, you wrote, we lose our magic. Absolutely. I felt like it was a little chip away at this dream I had, this like innocent, childlike dream, a sober, active community, or gosh, it wasn't even that. The way we got started, we just wanted to like work out and hike, wasn't even a thought of a community. But there were times where I felt like that magic was being taken away because I don't know if people didn't believe in me or whatever it was, or there was sort of this like this cap to how far I could go, and through continuing to live for my vision or my mission or what I wanted to accomplish. I didn't have a whole lot to lose. If it didn't work out, I'd just go back to, a job. It's not that simple, but essentially I just wanted to give it my all. A lot of things that I do, I want to give it my all. It's not so much about the outcome as it is about the process and putting in the effort and putting in the work. I have a lot of dreams or ideas or wants, and I want to be able to say that I tried my best. Whether or not they work out, that's sort of secondary. I know that's funny, and I talk about that sometimes, about kind of burning your goal, having this goal, but whether or not you get there is secondary to the process of working towards that goal, the growth that happens. Holly, you said I was told no a lot, and as a business owner, you can totally relate. It's isn't that so beautiful? And you accomplished. You started your own business, but in that process, had you given in to the naysayers, and really inadvertently, and maybe you had a similar experience. It wasn't the blatant sort of I mean, there were some blatant no's, but it was these inadvertent kind of like, oh, that's great, it's so telling in and of itself. I see a few more people joined us. Stacy, Eileen, Patrick. Hey guys, just wanted to acknowledge you and say hello. Kathy wrote, I just got a book in the mail, The Gifts of Imperfection. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are by Brene Brown. Can't wait to read it. Yes, absolutely. I love Brene Brown. I don't think I've read that book, but I absolutely adore her. Actually, I'm reading a different book called The Spirituality of Imperfection. Pretty good too, but yeah, she's just so spot on, just about the ways in which we limit ourselves in our own growth and our own development. And Nikki, sorry, I'm moving my phone here to read the message. Nikki, wow, this is on point with me today. In my first year of recovery, I wanted to change the world and give my everything to helping others. As real, quote-unquote, life took form for me, or as I let it take form in that way, I lost that motivation somewhere in getting a stable life built. The last 6 months, that drive has come back in full force, where I'm feeling like my life is great and stable, but I could be doing so much more with my experience and spirit. Isn't that a beautiful thing? That was a very similar experience for me when I entered recovery and started to build my life back and started working in my career. I was a social worker before recovery. And I just, I went back to that daily grind. And not that social work is not rewarding. I think for me, I saw that there was something missing in the field. There was something missing. And this idea of like sober fun, of connecting with other people, kind of took form very organically just from getting groups of people to go on hikes and just growing our little community, Jake, I felt the same way when I've expressed to my family that I want to get involved in the addiction field, whether that be a peer advocate or a therapist of some sort. But it felt like people just looked at my past and the response wasn't encouraging. But through all the struggles and exploration of self-love, I've come to focus on the drives and passions rather than what other people think. Oh my gosh, Jake, that is spot on. And I think Kirsten actually talked about it earlier today of like what people think, what other people think, and how limiting it could be to live life in fear of those thoughts and those perceptions, right? I think you should absolutely pursue whatever you're being called to do. I believe that the universe speaks to us in all these different ways. We are sort of led to our purpose in many ways. And if you feel that that's something you want to work towards, just put in the work. You will be shown exactly where you should be, where you need to be. I'm a firm believer in that. From just a mindset that I have is if you put in the work, you will be shown whatever your next steps are to be. Now we got a bunch of folks joining us. Tara, Lainey, Kelly, Dennis, hey, Thomas. Hello, guys. Hi, John. Juicy J, good to see ya. Nellie, I need some good books, please. Yes, absolutely. I'll shoot you a message afterwards and give you some good reading material. I got plenty, so we'll plug you in. But yeah, absolutely. Don't let that passion burn out. Follow your dreams. I'm not saying like drop everything or whatever, but definitely don't give up hope that, whatever you envision can be a possibility. Ali, yes, that's my nickname for John. He calls me Yana Banana. We work really closely together. All of the staff, we have like shared office space and all the desks are exactly together. So we're literally on top of each other. So we've developed all sorts of nicknames for one another. um, yeah. So keep that passion alive. Keep it going. Don't let anyone blow out your candle. Blow out that fire in you. Mo said, I agree. Trust the process and keep following the open doors, and it will lead to great things. Absolutely. That, in a nutshell, that sentence exactly is how recovery got started. It was just as simple as that. It was just a hike, that blossomed into this thing, this incredible thing where I'm coming to you guys from my home on Facebook Live, and I don't know. I mean, it's just so much bigger than that. It's bigger than anything I could have envisioned. And that's the thing. If we only strive to what we see, we sell ourselves short. If we just work towards our goal and not focus on the process and allow ourselves to be shown, we sell ourselves short of the possibilities. And really, really, truly, I promise you, the possibilities are endless. If I can do this, if I could start an organization, run an organization, then each and every one of you can too. You just have to find that drive, that passion that you have. If it's helping others, if it's working within the recovery field, being a therapist, being a peer advocate, absolutely. There's no reason why you can't do it. Holly, I freaking love you guys. I'm so glad to be here. Well, we love you too. We're really glad you're here. We're glad that all of you guys are here, and continue to stay great, because that's exactly what you are. You're absolutely wonderful in your very own special, beautiful, exhilarating way. And I'm really excited. I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to get to know you guys a little more each day through our interaction and through this feed. I am sending you love and light. And if you ever want to talk about, I don't know, your dreams, your passions, if you want to pick my brain or want some motivation or a cheerleader, absolutely shoot me a message, reach out. I'm on standby. I love talking about this stuff. I love seeing people, create the lives they crave. So Nelly, I need to get one of those recovery sweatshirts. Yes, we will figure that out too. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I've really enjoyed spending time with you, and I'll see you all here tomorrow. Bye.